It is currently 1:23 a.m. and this isn't the kind of video I was planning on doing right now, but I did just get out the wash and I'm kind of waiting for my hair to finish drying. And I have a lot of things on my mind I figured I would try to talk about because, I'm not very good at talking about these kind of things, but I did just quit therapy and I figured I would try to do the thing where everybody uses their YouTube as their vloggy thing more because I do feel like a lot of people don't talk about the stuff that I be thinking about a lot and just trying to ignore it and push it out your mind and shit doesn't really work. It just keeps on fucking nagging at me. I don't like to say it keeps on nagging at you, but because everybody's different but similar. But anyway, yeah, I was thinking a lot of stuff, and this might have a lot of cuts in it, or maybe I'll just let it play out all awkwardly. But I'm not very good at um talking about these kind of things. Um, but I am thinking so I am trying to put it into words. So I quit therapy not only because of the thing with my psychiatrist, but it's just a cumulative effect, so much stuff has happened throughout the years. I've been struggling with my mental health for over 20 years, since 2001, 2002. Um so it's been over 20 years now, and you know, I did the thing of seeking mental health care and trying all these different kind of meds and therapies and treatments and junk. And it was pretty horrific. It was pretty horrific at times. So it's not my first time quitting therapy. I really don't think I will be going back though, but I don't know for sure. Um, but right now I don't plan on it because I don't know. I'm over it. I don't think it's for me. I don't think a lot of things are for me. Um, I start thinking about there's just been a lot of realizations lately. One of the things I wanted to talk about was the whole hypersexuality thing, and I've been feeling there's really not, I don't know, I feel like society kind of shuns sex workers, obviously, and I know that a lot of the reason is because a lot of people are forced into it, and but I feel like the majority just do it because it's easy money, and then there's a small percentage of people that actually do it because they enjoy it, which I would fall into. I've been into various different kinds of adult entertainment. Let's use that term instead. Um, for many years, let's say around 15 years. So, and obviously, I feel you know, a lot of people kind of figure, and it just might be that, with all the traumas I experienced growing up, that might be related to that. But there's still a small amount of people that don't experience any kind of traumas and still, and do it because they enjoy it. So, um, not know if I would have been like this regardless of the traumas or not, but I do know that I've been the way I am for forever. It was pretty, I was pretty open about it, growing up and everything. I feel everybody already like knew about the traumas I experienced and everything like that, because there was like um a lot of people asking me questions about it, and I always denied it. But that's because, like, I grew up with like my brother. We're very close in age. A lot of people think we're twins and everything. Um, and I just, after being in like foster care, which was a bad experience, and being in other households, I just didn't want to be separated from him anymore. So like, just keep it to yourself kind of thing. But like, I did grow up thinking that it was like normal um to, experience like SA and stuff. Um and I know a lot of people say that, but I don't really believe them when they say that, because it's like, for me, when I thought it was normal, I would just like, blurt it out and not know that it was wrong. But I also knew there was like a secretive factor to it. So like, I had my suspicions that maybe it wasn't normal, but like, I grew up thinking it was normal basically. And um yeah, it was like my entire life basically has been, just like essay after essay after essay and stuff like that. And I think eventually, at some point, I was just like, you know, just accepted it. And I did go through a period in my life when I was in, I would say, teenage to like early 20s. I'm 40 now, for those that don't know. But um, early 20s, when I didn't, like, I hated myself. And then I realized that it wasn't me, it's society that I hate. The heat's bumping on, it's like 16 degrees outside, and I just turned on the heat when I came down here because it was fucking cold as shit. So I might have to turn that off real quick. 1 second. So anyway, where was I? So I'm just thinking it's kind of fucked up, because like, with all this therapy shit, I put my cigarette. With all this therapy shit, they like obviously just want people to be like productive members of society and shit like that. And it's all about like um, just disregarding all your negative feelings, accepting it, and like, trying to go on with life, and make it to work the next day, make money, make a living. And I feel like what I would enjoy doing is just like delving more, and I've been thinking about it for like years, delving more into like the adult entertainment stuff. Like, I had plans and everything, but right now it's like my friends and family. I've always been open about like, like, my interests with friends and family and stuff. Like, I don't have any shame in it. Um, so I wanted to like get into other forms of adult entertainment. I don't know if I can mention it on here. It starts with P, and then has a O, and then a R, and then an N in it. I just want to like, I'm stupid. I just wanted to delve more into that, and like um network more with people, and like travel more, and like, maybe like, direct my own shit. Like, that would be cool. Like, I have my dreams and my goals and my aspirations, but it's just not safe, and that's unfortunate, because like, I don't really need more trauma in my life. There's I've never really had problems with the kinky community. Like, they seem more trustworthy and more respectful of people's boundaries than, normies. Um, so I'm attracted to that, obviously. Like, you could tell someone what you want, like, be specific about it and what you don't want, and this person will follow the rules, and that's like, um, it's an awesome fucking arrangement when it works out. Now, the more normie types, tend to not like taking no for an answer, and that's what creates problems. And then, like, my ex psychiatrist also said, like, um, because of my appearance, people would be with me and then, like, not, they would just figure, like, if you're not with me, then you can't be with anybody else, kind of deal. So I've had a lot of, like, attempted, how do you say, murders? I don't know how to censor myself very well. I'm very, like, I've always been, like, against censorship, like, especially self-censorship. I do try to censor myself more around children's, but, like, when it comes to adults and everything like that, I don't feel the need to, like, censor. But, I guess, like, YouTube and a lot of, like, online places have different ideas in mind, guys. Politics. There's no logic in politics. So, yeah, and that's another thing with the logic I was thinking about earlier is, like, if a large portion of society has mental illness, then I don't think it's an individual thing. Then it's like a societal thing, like a societal illness. And that's pretty clear, but, like, nobody fucking says it. Like, the shit we doing is not working. But anyway, um, in my mind, like, I think if they could, like, legalize fucking brothels and make them more safer, that would be amazing. Like, I was talking about it during a stream the other day, like a private stream. Um, that it would be awesome, especially for me, like, cause, like, I'm a veteran, so I would, like, want to work for, like, the more secure federal fucking brothels and shit like that. So that would be, like, really cool. Um, but, like, I don't know why they don't want to make shit safer for people like me, and it just makes me feel, like, kind of ostracized. Like, yeah, I could do, like, normie type things, but not all the time. Like, it's actually really strenuous and draining trying to do, like, normie type things all the time. And so, like, I could see why people feel depressed. Like, a lot of people, they could have the basics. They could have food, clothing, shelter, family, friends, income, and they'll still feel like, something's missing. They'll feel unsatisfied and just not content with anything. And yeah, it's just kind of crazy. I don't know. And then I feel like, like, if my hypersexuality is related to trauma, then it's not my fault that I came out this way. I don't hate the way I am. I enjoy it. I wish I could delve into it more, and do it more of the time because it's what brings me joy. But yeah, the fact that it's, like, so shunned is kind of ridiculous. Kind of childish and ridiculous. I feel like the world is just becoming more and more childish. Like, there's no places for adults. We have to make our own places if we want to have adult fun. Even the online world is becoming more and more childish. And, it's just a lot of things that I'd be thinking. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that was on my mind. And I actually vocalized it. It's amazing. I'm hoping to get better with it as time goes by, so I don't have to do the whole therapy thing anymore. I don't want to. Like, there was another thing. Like, I feel like the only reason I am able to do like more normie type things and then kind of live this double life. That was another thing my ex psychiatrist mentioned, is that like, you live a double life. And I was like, yeah, kind of have to, um so yeah, the only reason I'm able to achieve that, I think, is because, like, fucking just being able to push out my fucking wants and needs and shit, and like take care of responsibilities, but I can't do it on like a prolonged time. I can't. Like, I have gone several years without, like, doing BDSM type things, and I was like so depressed, and I didn't really like tie in the depression to like the BDSM stuff, but it is like kind of a release to me to be able to have fun, my kind of fun, adulty fun. It's crazy. And I also feel like the reason that I'm able to do that is because, like, I don't really care much about what other people think. Like, a lot of people say that, but I feel like they don't truly mean it. A lot of people, I feel like they lie so much about even the silliest things. Like, I bet you people can't go like one day without fucking lying about something, even if it's a stupid thing. I don't feel the need to lie to adults. Of course, there's like scenarios when lying is beneficial, like if your life depends on it. So, um, but other than that, I don't feel the need to like spare people's feelings. Um, Especially if they're adults, they need to learn to accept the truth. And it's like, just because someone has a disagreement with you doesn't mean you have to care. I could disagree with many people. I don't really expect everybody to like, take my opinion so seriously, so personally. It's like, the way I'm able to just say like, I don't give a fuck about your opinion, I expect other people to say that too, And I don't understand why people can't do that. I think it's because, lying has just become so normalized, sparing each other's feelings. Um, but it's like, how are you gonna work through your negative feelings if everybody's sparing each other negative feelings and lying? And then it's like a form of self-sacrifice too. Like, you have to like stop what you think and what you want to say down inside, while other people, just going around oblivious to what your true opinion is. If they're asking your opinion, fucking give them the fucking truth of your opinion. Don't fucking sugarcoat that shit. Anyway, it's just another one of my thoughts. My basement is a fucking mess. I have so much stuff I have to put away because it's been a wild couple of weeks. The more I try to get, like, keep shit, like negative thoughts and stuff out of my head, it gets repetitive a lot. Um, the more I try to keep that out of my head, the more I try to like distract and avoid and everything. And I fucking sprained my ankle like I don't know, a couple of days ago or whatever. Fucking making a video wearing shoes I'm not supposed to be fucking wearing, because I was actually banned from high heels many years ago because my kinkles are so shitty. They really don't need to be sprained anymore, but I feel like I get like at least like one bad sprain a year. And yeah, so that happened. So I'm not doing much painting or anything these days. I like painting. I'm like working on painting all the walls of my house, like fresh paint. Um, and I was working on this room and I was working on the ceiling. And I didn't hurt myself like that, but like I was working on the ceiling and that requires me standing on a chair, and I don't feel like that's a good idea for me right now. And I'm like really anti going to the doctors. Like, I'll tell you some of the bad experiences that I've had with doctors. It's kind of atrocious. um so like trigger warning for whoever needs it. um Medical traumas. Like, I've had situations where these are some things I really don't like about the medical system. Where it's like, you're really depressed, right? Say like, I don't know, how do you say suicidal in a non uh censorship way? How do you say it? Self-deletion. So, um, I've had I suffer with like fucking suicidal ideation. That's what my therapist calls it. So I'm pretty sure I could say that. Um, I struggle with like a lot of suicidal ideation since I was like 19 years old, because that was like when I had my first suicide attempt, and then ever since then it's just been like a fucking chronic thing. And like in therapy and everything, they tell you like, well, if you feel like it's really bad, you might do something, go to the hospital. And you go to the hospital and you're like, yeah, I'm feeling really shitty. And then they're like, fucking, um, yeah, memories. Um, yeah, they tell you just like, this is the way it was for me. They tell me to wait in the like emergency room for however long, and you have like friends and family and they're concerned and they're trying to like talk you out of it, like just come home and whatever. And then they like take your belongings, they take your clothes, they take your phone and everything, and you can't call them. You just sit there for many hours until they like find a bed or whatever. And if you decide that you don't want to like be in the hospital anymore, they will not let you leave. And if you try to leave, they fucking send cops after you. Um, they hurt you. They handcuff you. I'm saying you, but I'm really saying like meaning me. Um, like I've gotten like one time I passed out outside of my apartment building. I pass out sometimes. It's like one of my symptoms slash disorders. A lot of like things with the PTSD, they're like symptoms that also are classified as their own separate disorders, but it all just leads back to like PTSD stuff. So I pass out sometimes. Let's say like um and this was around the time like I fucking struggled with eating disorder stuff, I think. Maybe, possibly, most likely. Um, so I passed out outside of my apartment after I took a cab to get home because I was feeling sick. I didn't make it into my apartment building. I woke up in an ambulance and I was trying to get out. I was like, I was already strapped and everything like that. I was like, I just want to go to bed. I just want to go in my room and I want to go to bed. Like, my fucking apartment is right there and they wouldn't let me leave. So I ripped out the IV with my teeth because they like have you like fucking like this, like this, and just fucking ripped it out. And I was fumbling with the door to the ambulance so I could get out. It didn't take off yet. And then the fucking paramedic slapped me, and that fucking enraged the shit out of me because like I couldn't get out, and the paramedic fucking slapped me, and I'm not gonna let anybody fucking slap me. And then fucking, but yeah, he just tied me down even fucking tighter. And when I got to the fucking hospital, I was like, pretty upset. Understatement. But yeah, like it took a lot of cops to fucking restrain me, and they gave me the like fucking Haldol shot, which is like the shot that knocks you out for like 2 days and shit. And um yeah, like all that could have been avoided. So, and then like one of my friends came to pick me up, and so they woke me up and tried to have me answer questions by this psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever, at the ER, and I barely remember it. And I had to and I had this fucking big ass piece of gauze, like this fucking big, no exaggeration, and it was soaked through with blood because apparently I must have fucked up my arm. But when I ripped it out. But yeah, like I couldn't stay conscious enough to even answer the questions to get out because like I was drugged the fuck up. So I had to stay an extra day, and then they like released me and everything. Um but yeah, that's just one of the crazy things. Another crazy situation I was in. It was really bad. This is the TW where like it's very bad. It makes me like really like not want to go to hospitals ever again. Um, so I was staying with like a roommate, and he was like into drugs and everything, and he told me one day that when I was asleep, he like assaulted me. And then the next day, like when he told me that, like I think it was like minutes before I like fucking just smashed his face open. Whatever I was hoping. I think I was holding like a glass cup and just fucking smashed it in his face. And like a camera fucking smashed his face with that. Like he was leaking all over the place. Yeah, like that triggered the hell out of me. So like, and he was a army ranger. So I don't know what he thought was gonna happen. I had like no idea. Yeah, so like um that happened, and then we ended up going to the VA, and the VA people's like fucking were like, I think that day we ended up getting into a knife fight. We did. We got into a knife fight, and he got the knife off of me and he like cut my neck with it. And just so you know, like when I think there's more nerves in the neck than there's anywhere else, because I remember that shit fucking hurting. And I was surprised by how much it hurt to fucking, it's just like thin skin and it fucking hurts. But yeah, he cut my neck like really fucking slowly, just dragged the knife on my neck. And then, I don't remember much after that, but I know after that we went to the VA, and I think it was the next day, the following day, we went to the VA, and the VA people were like, yeah, I need to stay separated. But by then we was like over it, whatever. But then we got back home and shit, like fucking, cause we were roommates, and then shit sparked out of control again, and he wouldn't like fucking let me leave, and I wanted to leave, and fucking cops were called, and they showed up, and fucking he still wouldn't let me. He fucking got all crazy with the fucking cops, and then so the cops took him away, and then like by then I was like fucking triggered as shit, and there was like, we're gonna take you to get a psychological evaluation. And I was just fucking kind of out of it, you know? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. They took me, I don't even remember being, like, I'm pretty sure they took me in the police car, but I don't even fucking remember that very much because I was so fucking out of it. And then I get to the fucking hospital, and they want me to, like, give them my clothes, and I'm like, why the fuck do I gotta give you my clothes for a psychological evaluation? They're like, well, if you don't give us your clothes, we're gonna take them. And I was like, no. And then fucking I cowered in the fucking corner, and these two big guys came, and they fucking just stripped all the, like, fucking just ravaged the fucking clothes off of me, just ripped them all off and whatever. And then like fucking I was like traumatized and just like flipping between like fucking all the times that happened to me in my fucking life. And then there for like, I think I was like fucking fucked up about it for like hours. And then like my next reminder is like, my next memory is just like being in front of my apartment. And I don't even know how the fuck I got there. Like, I don't even remember if I ever had like the psychological evaluation or anything like that. But like, yeah, I called my brother up as soon as I got into the fucking apartment. I called him up and I was like, I'm coming and I'm staying with you. And so like I left the state the very next day, and that's how I ended up back in like New York. Like that was crazy. Like I think I showed up with, yeah, like I still had the cut on my neck. I had like my wrist was hurt, so I had like an ace bandage on it. So yeah, it was wild. And that was like years ago. But that was an experience where it just makes me not want to go to the hospital ever again. I'm like, I didn't even do nothing wrong. That shit's crazy. It's crazy to me. So yeah, like never again. But I went on a ramble. I've been talking for fucking 25 minutes. I didn't even fucking realize that. Other bad experience I had was I had a therapist, one of my past therapists, and she was the one who told me about like, you know, like chronic suicidal ideation and stuff. So I thought she like understood it or whatever. And then like my soon to be ex-husband, hopefully, whenever, I gotta call my lawyer about that. Like he told me to fucking call him, and I haven't done it in like 2 weeks because I've been dealing with like, you know, all this shit with the VA. And yeah, so she ended up like, I saw her one day, right? And she ended up getting in an argument, like my ex, soon to be ex-husband, like fucking called her, and he was arguing with her on the phone over meds, like me getting meds. And I wasn't even aware of it. He didn't tell me until after. Like, I was outside, like, feeding my animals, chilling with my friend and shit, relaxing. And then some cops show up, and they're like, I'm like, why is there cops here? Like, I ain't do nothing. I'm just trying to enjoy my day. And they were doing, like, a wellness check or whatever. And I was like, I'll talk to you, like, after I go get my cigarettes or whatever. Obviously, like, I'm a smoker. And they like fucking ran up behind me, and like my soon to be ex-husband like fucking blocked them from even touching me, because it's like if they touch me like when my anxiety is up, like we're fighting and probably getting shot and dying. Like, so that was a very bad experience. I went to like my next therapy appointment. I was like, yeah, I didn't appreciate that. I never want to see you again. Fuck you. Like I didn't even do nothing. Like, why is this the way shit is? And it's like the only way I started talking to like fucking my current therapist is with her like fucking promising that she would never fucking put me like, you know, like call cops on me or whatever without talking it over with me first. Um, so I don't know, that's just like always a risk dealing with this shit. And it's like, if you do nothing wrong, if you're like a kid and you're abused and you end up fucking feeling like shit and you tell people you feel like shit, then it's like it gives them the right to like cause you more problems. And somehow you're just supposed to be okay with all that shit. And I'm not okay with all that shit. I'm really not. So, and I haven't been. So like, yeah, like the only way I had like completely not even wanted, all I had was my psychiatrist, until I landed a case because of my husband, and there was like, I gotta do probations with mandatory mental health stuff, which mandatory therapy, I don't know what to fucking call. So that's how I ended up getting my therapist. And my therapist, she's a good therapist and everything. Like, fucking, well, my ex-therapist. But she still says that I'm, like, her patient, even though, like, I don't want to anymore. But it also comes off to me, like, as fucking just naivety. How the fuck do you even pronounce the word? It just comes off like she's fucking naive as fuck, saying, you know, like, just try to do normie type stuff when you have all this shit replaying in your head, like, constantly. Like, I'm not gonna be in a good mood. So, it gets me in a bad mood when I haven't slept all night. Sleeping is probably one of the things that majorly contributes to. I probably shouldn't talk too much. It's been like over half an hour, so like I probably shouldn't talk too much anymore. But contributes to my symptoms worsening is the fact that like I don't sleep too well. But yeah, I just be trying to like balance out the misery with some fun, because I feel like the majority of adults don't really have as much fun to balance out all the fucking misery in life. And so I try to like balance it out, and so I try to squeeze in like my kinky things as much as I possibly can. And yeah, that's how I've been doing. That's how I manage. I know this is like probably a crazy ass fucking recording and all over the place and everything, but I'm gonna have to cut it short because like it's long. And I want to put it up. And I still, like, my hair does feel dry, so I could style it and make that video I always wanted to make. So, that is all. Bye!